चैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकथा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखादिनांश हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा काङ्गनमोऽस्तुते सप्तकाञ्चन गौरांगी श्रीराधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्परूपश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिने नमः। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So Reena Mataji, what is your topic?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, it is related to chapter 16, Mataji, chapter number 16, related 16. To Demonia Qualities.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll start with your presentation and after that we'll have some kind of discussion. Okay, over to you, Mataji. You can share the screen.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, shall I introduce her?
Yes.
Yes, Mataji, please. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. So today, Reena Mataji is going to present on Demonia Qualities. So she is a MBBS MD. She is associate professor in biochemistry. She works at Raja Rajeshwari Medical College and Hospital, Bangalore. And she is into Krishna consciousness since June 2020. Currently, from August 2021, she is taking Kannada Kids Batch 18 days class. So today she is going to present on Demonic Qualities. So over to you, Reena Mataji. All the best. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, we can't hear you. Reena Mataji, can you unmute?
Okay. Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. Can you hear me now, Mataji?
Yes.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Dandavat pranams Mataji, and pranamas to all the devotees assembled here. So I'm offering my wholehearted humble obeisances to Shri Shri Radha Govinda. So with prayers, I would like to start today's session. Om Agnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So my question is related to chapter number 16, which is Divine and Demonia Qualities. So the question is, present to a contemporary audience the three gateways to hell and importance of avoiding these, the necessity of following scriptural injunctions, provide reference to BG 16.21 to 24 verses and purports in your response. So three questions are here. So three gateways to hell we have to understand and importance of avoiding these, and what is the necessity of following the scriptural injunctions. So on these three topics, I will be briefly explaining today. So in chapter number 16, Supreme Personality of Godhead will be explaining about the two types of creatures, that is living beings, that is one with demonia qualities and one with the divine qualities. So nearly like Lord will explain about 26 divine qualities, so which are in mode of goodness. They are in transcendental in nature. So that's why like they will purify one's existence. So it will help one to liberate. So that is attaining the perfection of human life. So now we will understand about the demonia qualities. So Lord will explain about the demonic qualities, like he will tell Dambo Darpo Bhimanascha Krodha Parushyameva cha Agnanam cha Bidat Jatasya Partha Sampadam Asurim. So he will explain about nearly 6 demonia qualities. Among them, Lord will explain in detail about 3 qualities, which are lust, greed, and anger, which are the 3 demoniac qualities. So what is lust? That's what we want to understand now. And we have to understand what is the importance of avoiding these 3 demoniac qualities. So what is lust? So lust is the desire to satisfy one's own senses. So like if you recall the Bhakti Yoga, that is 3rd chapter. So in from verses 3.36 to 43, so lust has been explained extensively by Lord Krishna. And when Arjuna asked like why a person has a tendency to perform execute sinful actions, so that is a question asked by Arjuna. For that, the Krishna answers that lust is the sinful enemy of the world. It is the eternal sinful enemy of the world. That's what Krishna explains. And the consciousness of different living entities is covered by different degrees of lust. So what is the effect of this lust? So if the lust is satisfied, actually lust cannot be satisfied. That's why it is called as insatiable enemy. So since it is cannot be satisfied, it leads to greed. So suppose if the lust is not satisfied, it leads to anger. So we have also understood in the 2nd chapter that the 8 stages of downfall. The verse goes like this: Dhyayate vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bijayate krodhat bhavati sammohaha sammoha smruti vibhramaha smruti bhramshat buddhinasho buddhinashat pranashyati. So like it starts from the senses. Actually, like senses, what they will do, they will contemplate on the objects. So the attachment develops. Once the person develops attachment, it leads to lust. If lust is not satisfied, it leads to anger, which leads to delusion, bewilderment of memory, and the intelligence is lost. Once the person's intelligence is lost, that is knowledge is lost, then it starts then the fall down of the person starts. So that's what we have to understand here. So if the person is in lust, whether it is satisfied or not satisfied, it leads to downfall of the person. So the 3 sitting places of the lust are senses, mind, and intelligence. So if intelligence is lost, it leads to downfall of the person. So that's why this leads to the destroy of this causes the destroying the real knowledge. There is no self-realization and degradation of the soul. The whole purpose of the human existence will be lost. So that's why like these 3 demoniac qualities are considered as the gates, the 3 gates of hell. Lust, greed, anger are considered as the 3 gates of hell. So we can recall here the Mahabharata incidents. So wherein the Duryodhana, like being so lusty, like he wanted to satisfy his own senses. So like he was not ready to give even 5 villages to Pandavas. So for that, like the whole Mahabharata war took place, and it leads to loss of so many living entities. So this is explained in the verse 16.21, the 3 gateways to hell. Trividam narakasyedam dvaram nashanam kamah krodhas tata lobhas tasmadetat tyajet. So the three gates leading to this hell are lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. So if one tries to satisfy the lust, what will happen? It will lead to either anger or greed. So this is nothing but beginning of demoniac life. So this will lead to the gliding down of the person. So there is no possibility of liberation from the material entanglement. So what the sane person has to do, he should try to give up these three enemies. So now we will understand the effect of realizing the three gates of hell. Yetair vimuktah kaunteya tamo dvarais tribirnaraha acharati atmana shreyas tato yati param gatim. So if one understood the effects of these three gates of hell, so you will do the actions which are shreyas for the atmaha. So the man who has escaped these three gates of hell, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. So now we will understand what are the actions which are performed to self-realization. The acts which are conducive to self-realization is nothing but to follow the scriptures. So that is, one has to follow the Vedas. So Vedas are considered as mother, and only the mother can tell correctly who is our father. So once we understood who is our father, then we can perform the actions to reach our father, which is nothing but attaining the perfection of human life. So why Shastras has to be followed? Because Shastras has to be followed because they are without four defects which are seen in the conditioned soul. What are these four defects? That is imperfect senses, propensity to cheat, committing mistakes, and being illusioned. So that's why, like in conditioned life, one cannot have their own rules and regulation. So there is no other way for the conditioned soul. They have to accept the Shastras which are free from these four defects. So then only they can come to the stage of perfection. So in the Vedas, Varnasrama Dharma has been prescribed for the living entities to attain the spiritual goal. So all the four Varnas and all the four ashramas, they have to follow the rules and regulations given in the Vedas so that they will gradually attain the liberation. So Varnasrama Dharma is following the rules and regulation given in the Vedas. It is gradual purification process. What it means? So that is freeing oneself from the lust, anger, and greed. So then only like the conditioned soul can be liberated. So from the mode of ignorance and passion, by following the rules and regulation of the Vedas, they will come to the mode of goodness. If the mode of goodness is combined with devotional service, so then it leads to liberation. So now we will understand what is the fate of person who do not follow the scriptures. Ye shastra vidhi mutsrujya vartate kamakarataha na sa siddhim avapnoti na sukam na param gatim. So here we can understand if one does not follow the scriptural injunctions, na sa siddhim, so there is no perfection, na sukam, no happiness, na param gatim, so they cannot attain the supreme destination. He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. Thus is wasting the human life, which is meant for purifying one's existence. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains like about the following the directions of Shastras. Based on that, there are 5 kinds of persons. So the main essence of following the rules and regulations given in the Vedas is to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So first kind of persons, they don't know anything about the Shastras and Vedas, so naturally they cannot follow. So naturally they cannot be perfected in their life. So second type of persons, theoretically they know, but they do not follow the scriptures. So they are considered as lowest of mankind. They are degraded persons, they are very lusty, and they will have their own rules and regulation, and they will act whimsically. And third kind of persons, they know the Shastras, they follow the Shastra, but they do not understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Then the knowledge is waste, the knowledge is considered as spoiled. Then fourth kind of persons, they will accept the existence of God, but they will not do any devotional service to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then whatever attempts they are doing in the present human life are considered as spoiled. So these four kind of persons, they cannot elevate to the spiritual platform unless one does not do service to the lotus feet of Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one can elevate to the spiritual platform. So human life is meant for purification of one's existence. So they have to follow the scriptural injunctions, which leads to gradual elevation. So the verse supports this is 16.24. Tasma shastram pramanam te karya karya vyavastito gnatva shastra vidanoktam karma kartum iharhasi. One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may be gradually be elevated. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explained that by following the Varnasrama Dharma, yes, the person will come to the spiritual platform, but it is a gradual process. And the Varnasrama Dharma includes Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. But the problem here is the person stays at the stage of Kama itself. Very difficult for him to go to the progress to the stage of Moksha. So that's why, like, if one is fortunate, he will come to the Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is nothing but satisfying the Krishna senses instead of one's own senses. So by performing the rules and regulation of Krishna consciousness, which is given by the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, or following the Navavida Bhakti, one or the other types of Navavida Bhaktis, and following the four regulative principles, one can engage in the devotional service under the proper guidance of proper bona fide spiritual master and attain the highest perfection of knowledge so that they can be success in the present human life itself. So Krishna consciousness is transcendental to Varnasrama Dharma. So it has been said that the devotional service is susukam kartum avyaham, like it is very easy to perform, and while performing itself there is happiness, and it really works. Pratyakshavagamam, like one can appreciate the effects of Krishna consciousness in the present life itself. So it is transcendental to Varnasrama Dharma. If one engages in the devotional service to Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is nothing but it is understood that he has studied all the Vedic literatures. So to summarize, so one has to satisfy the Krishna senses, that is, one has to come to the Krishna consciousness. So then he will progress in the life and he will attain the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. If one tries to satisfy his senses, then he will glides down to the demoniac life. So no one can help, even the Lord will also reject that kind of persons. So if one comes to the Krishna consciousness, he will attain all the divine qualities. So he will be perfected in the human life. So Hare Krishna. So I will offer my gratitude to Holiness Jaipatak Swami Maharaj and Nominesh Das Prabhuji, and my Shiksha Gurus, the Prema Kishore Mataji, Aishwarya Subhadra Devi Dasi Mataji, Shubhamaya Mataji, and Subudhi Prabhuji, Subudhi Das Prabhuji. And I will also extend my heartfelt thanks to Muralidharan Prabhuji and Pradosh Prabhuji, who really helped me and encouraged me to do this presentation. And thanks to all the devotees assembled here. Hare Krishna, and please excuse me like if I have done any mistakes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Nice presentation, nice slides, and really happy to see Guru Maharaj also here. You can include Prabhupada also, but it's okay. But very nice to see the mercy comes through Guru Maharaj, definitely. And yes, last anger, greed, definitely uh, very, very hard to control. Yeah, I think that's the last stage. Everyone's like, I'm chanting Hare Krishna, still I get angry and all that. But I think that's the last stage of really purification happens when completely the anger gets just go away from you. But that's the last stage mostly. So we need a lot of patience to go there. But Mataji have nicely explained. So any comments, anything? I think beautiful presentation. Yes, Prabhu.
Just it has been so beautifully done,
Yeah.
logically sequenced,
Yes.
very well presented, and exactly 15 minutes she has managed the time perfectly. All this she has done just from last night to now. We saw a little raw version of the presentation. She fine-tuned it by 7 p.m. and by 9:30, I think, and beyond this she has worked. I don't know when she had dinner. Excellent presentation, meeting all the requirements of timeliness, sequencing, and logical presentation. Thank you so much. It's brilliant.
Hare Krishna. Yes,
Veena
Pradosh Prabhu.
Mataji, yeah.
Krishna Mataji. Mataji, actually, on the content and explanation, she has done excellently well, and she has been into Krishna consciousness so long. What the feeling I was getting, it's really great to see that while explaining the same, she was also having that preaching nature, which is quite evident. If someone is not into chapter 16 or doesn't even know what are the divine qualities or demoniac nature, how it leads to hell, then also she was explaining like to the teacher that nature is coming actually. If anyone doesn't know also, from this the devotee will come to know and will definitely follow. So this is one of the
Yes.
good part. Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, one quality I really liked from Reena Mataji, she's very humble. She never said she's a doctor. She never is proud of anything, pride of anything. So that's, I think, the humility part is very difficult for a devotee to come. So we are all working on that. But then she's very, really humble and very down to earth. And she accepts, she's very eager to learn things and anything new in Krishna consciousness. She always like to improve, even though so many obstacles might be there in life, but still that eagerness, that thing is there to advance in Krishna consciousness. And very nice. And Prabhu was really impressed once she presented a very nice seminar, and Prabhu was really happy. And she's like, so many gems are hiding, we don't know, so unless they come up. And she's been my co-host for a long time. Reena Mataji had helped me so many times. I've bothered her so many times, but she never said no to any service. I think especially kids session, she managed very well with me. So yes, Mataji very nicely presented. And I think, yes, all glories to Namanishta Prabhu, Prem Kishore and Mataji. They have trained us. Definitely mercy comes from Guru Maharaj and Prabhupada, definitely. So, so yes. So any we'll open the discussion. So I'll just unmute everyone. Yes, Hare Krishna.
Mataji,
I don't know if I have actually pushed her to come on screen, make a presentation, and tell us a little about herself. Thanks to her acceding to the request, and it was beautifully done. Yeah, Pradosh Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. I was just trying to add one more thing when Mataji was telling Ashriya Mataji, our own Mataji telling that Reena Mataji was helping her many times, going extra mile for co-hosting and other things. So here, Mataji, I will add one thing. Being a doctor, apart from other, being a lady also, that also makes a very important and a difference. Although she has her regular timing of having the dinner on time, having the sleep on a regular time, but she has exceeded that to extra mile yesterday in order to make the presentation to be more presentable and to do the trial demo, in fact. So it has really commands a lot of respect from all of us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhu. Yes. So, was there anything on the discussion part? Yeah, about lust, anger, greed are the three things to hell and to control them. Yes. But then Prabhupada says the best thing is Krishna consciousness. Definitely. All of you would have, now you're in level 3. Now you would have analyzed yourself when you turn back and see like how much I have changed. Yes, sometimes the anger part, it's very difficult to give up initially, but anger can also be transcendently used. Now we are in 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam for the temple. We see how Jaya Vijaya gets cursed by the 4 Kumaras. So they were angry on them. Like even Shringi, when he saw the dead snake around his father Shamika Muni, he was also angry on Parikshit Maharaj. Then Mother Parvati was angry on Chitraketu Maharaj and she cursed him. So anger is also transcendently used. It's not like it said, Prabhupada says that even in liberated state there is anger, but that anger is for a spiritual cause, not material cause. Here we get angry for all material things, and we desire something, unfulfilled desire, and we have this anger comes for something material. But then your devotees show this anger spiritually. Spiritually they use it. They are angry when someone blasphemes the Lord, someone does some Vaishnava aparat. So in that way, anger can be used in a nice way. So Prabhupada's like, you can't completely make anger zero. No, that's difficult. Durvasa Muni was also, he's a great Siddha, but he was not a devotee, but still he was angry on Ambarish Maharaj. So anger is very difficult, but when it's used in Krishna service, it's not like every time we should get anger, but whenever it's required, it's needed sometimes in a good cause. So in that way, lust, anger, greed. But now, when you turn back, you see, before you were so lusty, means greedy for material things. But now, because you have come to Krishna consciousness, most of your material desires has come down. Now you are spiritually greedy. That's the Pralaulya. That's needed. Rupa Goswami says that thing is needed for advancing. So yes, and thank you to Murli Prabhu and Pradosh Prabhu. So I think we have almost towards the end. We have only one more presentation now by Sarita Mataji. They're already preachers. They're already teachers. So, but then it's just a formality. They are doing the presentation.